Cheers, Buccaneers. Welcome back. Welcome back to my channel. Today we have Pablo here, very special guest. And I'm just going to be talking about life and what I think about things. I didn't go to my senior prom because I always had this thing where I'd go to dances in high school where I'd walk around the dance feeling empty, like I was trying to find someone or something that was familiar, and I never could. It was like I would just walk around the whole time having anxiety. So I chose not to go to senior prom. And then I went to junior prom, but instead of wearing a dress like a normal human being, I wore a cow onesie. And I remember, I was thinking in the moment, I was like, oh, this is so quirky and this is so funny. Everyone is going to think this is hilarious. But I also just didn't care and I just wanted to be comfortable. But I remember thinking, people are going to, I thought I ate. I really thought I ate, and I did not eat. Looking back, it's actually kind of weird. But I stand by it. Stand by that decision. It's funny because in July I'm going on a cousin family trip to Oregon, and all of my cousins, we got an Airbnb, and it's going to be a great time. And during that time, so I think we're going to be there for a week, we're going to be playing a Dungeons and Dragons game, and I don't know how to play Dungeons and Dragons, so I need to teach myself. I'm pretty sure it's just creating imaginative, creative stuff. I am an Elden fairy, and there was an attack on the village, and I got my arrow and shot them at a 45-degree angle and killed the front troops. I think it's stuff like that. But I'm excited, and I want to bring it. Okay, I actually want to talk about. No, I shouldn't talk about that. I wanted to talk about ketamine, but I think that's a podcast topic. Oh yeah, the podcast was really good. I feel like filming it, so I filmed it with one of my best friends, Lizzie, and it was good, but I cut out probably 20 minutes of footage just because there were things that I just felt weren't good enough. It's weird because I'm not a perfectionist whatsoever with anything, but when it comes to my podcast, that's when I I want to make it perfect. I Mr. Beast it almost, but a lot of times I am too self-critical about myself, and I think what I need to remember when I'm shooting a podcast is to just be myself, because I think I focus too much on other things, oh, am I asking enough questions to the other person? Am I being funny enough? But really, I just need to kind of calm down and be myself. But it was a really fun podcast to shoot, and Lizzie and I are going to shoot another podcast this week, and it's going to be about conspiracy theories and maybe the paranormal and aliens. And then we also devised a segment. This was Lizzie's idea. We were going to put write down on 10 to 15 pieces of paper traumatic things that have happened to us, and then we were going to put them all in a hat and pull them during the podcast, and then whoever's paper it was has to explain what happened. So I actually wanted to show you guys, or kind of read you guys what trauma things I'm gonna use for our hat trauma poll for our next podcast. I thought it could be kind of fun, and and let me know in the comments which ones I should explain on the podcast. All right, and some of these are kind of crazy, so listen at your own risk. My stalker tried to drive me off a bridge. That's one that that happened to me that I could talk about on the podcast. I'm probably definitely gonna do that one. Another one is why the football team cyberbullied me in high school. I'll probably do that one. That one's crazy. I accidentally got a foreign exchange student sent back to Bolivia. Classic Megan trauma story. Can't wait to share that one on the podcast and with Lizzie, because that one's crazy. Another one is I took 5 grams of shrooms at Rolling Loud and almost died. True story. Very scary experience. Rolling Loud is not the proper vibes for shrooms, for sure. Another one could be like, I was homeless for 4 months. That's probably a pretty traumatic thing. And then I found out my ex was cheating on me while he was in jail. But I already talked about that in the last podcast, so I'm not going to include that. Oh, here's a really good one. I got a speeding ticket because my ex-boyfriend was gay. And that is like 2 stories combined into one, but they both relate. And at the end, it is his fault. It is his fault I got that speeding ticket. So I think those would just be crazy. I got cheated on my 18th birthday in front of my face. That one will really fuck you up for a couple years. That was now every time I have a birthday, I'm like, am I gonna get cheated on? Every birthday without fail. That's what goes through my mind. It's actually like actually PTSD. And not in like a funny way, but in like a Marines way. I got left at a gas station when I was 11. That sounds so bad when I just read it like that with no explanation. Yeah, so I think the next podcast episode will definitely be filled with some good stuff. This is my old phone, and I don't know if you could tell, it's super, super cracked because I dropped it in a toilet at a party like 2 years ago, and then I fished it out of the toilet and handed it to this guy who was the bodyguard of the party because he walked me to the bathroom. Like, I handed it to him while he was outside of the bathroom. And I was like, can you wipe this off for me? And then I hear him drop it, but I didn't think anything of it. And then he wiped it off and put my case back on and handed it to me. And I was like, I was like drunky. So I didn't notice that it was cracked. And I know it wasn't cracked when I dropped it in the toilet because I looked at it. And then he blocked me after so that he didn't have to pay for it. And honestly, props to him for swindling me. So good. He really, really got out of that one. One time I tried to watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians for the first time on shrooms, and it made me freak out. Like, it felt fake and weird, and I basically had an existential crisis. In high school, I used to go to these parties called Hmong parties, and the city I'm from, we have a huge Hmong population, and a lot of my like really close friends were Hmong, so they would invite me and my friends on the cross country team to the Hmong parties, and these, oh my gosh, okay, I don't even know how to begin to explain this. So every weekend they would all like there was like a group of I feel like there was like a group of 40 or 50 of them, and I was probably friends with like 15 of them, and then we had like my track friends, and they would all take turns hosting, but for the most part it would be at the same house, And this house was like really interesting. So it was like a house, and then in the middle of the house was like a green, like a carport. It was in the middle of the house, but it was all open, and there was a hot tub, and there was like a card table, like to play different types of card games. And keep in mind, I was probably like 16 at the time, all right? And I was on the, or wait, no, I think this was during track season. So it was me and my friends on the track team. And I was mostly friends with guys in, hate to be a pick-me, but whatever. And where are all those guy friends now? I don't know. Good question. Okay. Good question. I don't know. Some of them I actually do keep in touch with, and they're probably some of the best people I know. But then, yeah, there's some that anyways, besides the point. So when you knock on their house, knock on their house, what the hell? Why did I say it like that? When you knock on the door, they open the door, and you have to take 3 entry shots before stepping inside to the party. 3 entry shots. Now, I am my mother's daughter. This was no problem for me. So you would take them, and then immediately you're just sloshed, right? And then there's people coming around with trays of shots, and they were called house shots, and there were house rules. So if you were approached with one of these shots, you had to take them, otherwise it was considered rude. And I remember this one time, after the entry shots, after the house shots, if the people there threw up, they would or they drank too much, they would make themselves throw up, take like a 20-minute nap, wake up, and rally again. Like, this was like peak alcoholism. And the one time we were in that carport in the middle, and it was so sloshed, and I was with all my track friends. It was me and this other girl, and then my 3 guy friends, and then like everyone else who like are normally at these parties in the friend group. So this guy who like I know came to the middle, it was Everclear. They came back from the store with Everclear. I know, Everclear's the worst. If you've never had the joy of experiencing Everclear, don't. Just don't. It's basically moonshine. It's horrible. It's basically rubbing alcohol. Now, I came here with 4 of my friends. We took these shots of Everclear. And I don't mean multiple shots. We all took 1 shot of Everclear each. 3 out of the 5 of us instantly started blacked out and threw up. Yeah, we were basically out for the count. And I remember going home, and this is how I laid on my lawn. My mom picked me up the next morning. I was shaking, and we got McDonald's, and then I came home and slept on my front lawn. I eat in the morning. The neighbors really loved that one. So, that was good. Anyways, that's just one of the stories that I have. So, hope you guys enjoyed. And if you guys like these sit-down videos where I use my microphone, and let me know. I guess it's kind of like a solo mini podcast, but I have so many stories I can tell. Like, if you guys want me to tell any specific stories, whether that's like party related, weed related, mushroom related, ketamine related, drug related, no, or even just like embarrassing, like high school, like stalker stories, just name any topic you want, and I probably have a story for it. But yeah, thanks y'all for walking. Thank you guys for watching, and cheers, Buccaneers. Hope y'all have a great day, and show me some love on the podcast if y'all want. I will link it below. And yeah, thanks to all the people who like my videos and watch. It's really, really awesome, and I just like making videos. It's very, very fun. If you're a person who has always wanted to make videos, but you don't know like how to start or what to do, no one does. Just honestly whip out your phone, make a video, and post it. Honestly, just like use an iPhone. It's good quality, and yeah. So that's all I got for today. And have a great day. Bless up, and don't drink Everclear ever. Stay clear of Everclear.